What is up, you sexy YouTube mother lovers? My name is Brandon Herrera, and this is now probably the weirdest gun I own. The hell? It's like the goofiest stock ever. So this is the Calico M-100. If you don't know what this is, you're probably surprised at just how damn goofy this thing looks. And if you do know what this is, then you already know how damn goofy it looks. But this little .22 Calico and this entire family of rifles, period, has really earned its spot in the halls of gun design history, and we're gonna tell you why. Because it's fucking weird, that's why. So let's get into what exactly this thing is. So of course this is the Calico M-100, it's a .22 caliber rifle. And frankly, it just looks like you took a Ruger 10/22, bred it with an M16, and exposed that bastard child to massive amounts of radiation. So the actual operation of the gun's pretty simple. It is a direct blowback .22 caliber rifle. .22 LR compared to rifle calibers, and really even pistol calibers, doesn't carry that much energy, and the projectile itself is really light, allowing you to easily do direct blowback, because there's really no reason to make it gas operated, or roller delay or anything like that, because there's really not that much back pressure. Direct blowback, of course, just means the only thing stopping this gun from exploding is your bolt weight and your spring. That's literally it. There's no locking mechanism at all. Like I said, because .22 LR, you don't really need one. But aside from that, there's more to it that makes it different, and not just the fact that it looks like something, a blaster rifle from a knockoff Star Wars, which, by the way, it was actually a blaster rifle in a knockoff Star Wars. The fact that this thing looks like a shitty knockoff, like sci-fi blaster rifle, has probably helped it out a lot, because this thing has been in a lot of media, especially in like the 80s and 90s. Calico family of rifles was in like Terminator 2, Star Trek, First Contact, all sorts of shit. Total Recall, RoboCops 2 and 3, even James Bond. But its wacky appearance is actually somewhat functional. So let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room, this tumor in the rear of the gun. As you can tell by our cutting edge montage, this is actually the magazine. So we squeeze both these buttons here on both sides, and this pops up. And you have actually a somewhat less weird looking gun and your helical magazine. Now, what is a helical magazine? Your traditional magazine will just stack bullets on top of each other all the way down the body with, a follower and a spring down there to keep tension on it, to constantly have the rounds being pushed to the top, stopped by the feed lips. This is 99% of magazines in existence. Calico, sometime in the 70s or 80s, decided, nah. So what they did is called a helical magazine. That's exactly the way it sounds. It's actually a helix that spirals around the body of the magazine on the inside. I'll put a photo up here so you guys actually know what I'm talking about, and you can get that kind of dumbfounded look off your face. But it's a really interesting way to get more capacity out of these mags without making them stupid long or doing a huge drum on the bottom of the gun. Instead, you put kind of a moderately large, long drum on top of the gun. Okay, it's not perfect, but its helical design is what allows you to get more bang for your buck out of a magazine like this. In fact, to the tune of about 100 rounds. Now, getting 100 rounds out of this without having a failure, that's kind of optimistic. This thing doesn't run super well, at least from my experience. And .22 long rifle in general is just kind of prone to ammunition problems, feeding problems. But I will say, to the Calico's credit, the magazine didn't seem to be the source of any of the problems I encountered. Most of them were ammo related or just general .22 LR shenanigans. Now, some of you AK guys or all around gun nerds might know the helical magazine from A, well, the Calico, but B, the PP-19 Bison, or Bizone. The PP. It's an AK variant of the PP-19, much like the Vitchaz, but it had a helical magazine instead of on the rear top of the gun on the front of the gun, facing forward instead of backward. I could also just show you a picture. Basically, you tension this magazine a little bit with this little spinny boy right here, and just enough for the follower to pop up, and then you load the magazine now that it has tension on it, and then you give this, like, I think anywhere between 12 to 15 rotations. The amount of varying information about this on the internet is a little scary. I've been told that if you just crank down on this thing, you'll end up breaking something, so good idea to keep an eye on how many rotations you do. And if you want to relieve tension off it, you just press this button and it releases. Helical magazines, they're fucking cool. Anyway, handguards, like said, kind of like a shrunken down M16 kind of look with that, I don't know. This is like if a kid drew the front end of an M16. Kind of like that A2 sight block looking thing here, and a wacky blaster rifle looking muzzle brake, you know, for all of that insane recoil you get off of 22 long rifle. Really helps keep it flat shooting. Your pistol grip here slides for some reason. Skittle storage, or what have you. Now for the grand finale. An impressive superlative, one of the worst stocks I've ever seen in my life. Kind of nifty, but they kind of forgot human proportion. In fact, this entire gun is kind of designed by somebody who doesn't know how people hold things. Handguard shrunk down, which means it's pretty much, you could just manhandle the hell out of it. Like, really, it's tiny. But this stock, man, this is just flat out uncomfortable. You can kind of get a cheek weld, but if you try to push down on it, it's just bent, sharp sheet metal. It's a little too long in that configuration, but if you shorten it down, now it is a little too short. So there's no Goldilocks, just right setting. That's just enough to be really awkward. I'm sure there's a couple people out there that really like this, and those people are wrong. But also, yeah, just to tear it down, you got this little push button there, or to fold it back up. This push button goes right back like that, and then you push this lever up top. This all just folds back under the gun, and you have a really cool looking space age piece of equipment. Overall, it's pretty neat just because it's just so damn unique. That's one way to describe it. But that's enough of the nerd talk for some of you ADD fucks out there, so let's go out back to the range and shoot this thing a little bit more.
So we're back out on the range now to do something that might just be a first for this channel. A White Claw penetration test that's actually kind of a penetration test. It's 22. Let's see what happens. We've got our watermelon White Claw there. As my large Kentuckian friend might say, it's watermelon time. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that came back so much more than normal. But at least it smells good. I've been known to enjoy a squirter or two, but that was a little excessive. Anyhow, we have our entrance here and our exit in the rear. That's actually kind of interesting. So the exit is smaller than the entrance. Probably not a lot of energy left at the end of that, but well, yeah, we'll see. Probably a lot of it is the carbonation of the White Claw itself and all of the energy going into it from the front. You know, the massive amounts of energy you get out of fucking 22 long rifle. But already having a hole out front, it probably ripped out the front more so than the rear, because you had more pressure inside the can during the flight time. Whatever, man, I'm not a fucking scientist. All right, now just to satisfy my curiosity, we're gonna try shooting 2 claws in a row. From probably more than point blank. All right, White Claw destruction in 3, 2, 1. That was pretty cool, actually. Got the shell casing there that I always forget are hot. Yeah, it ripped through 2, no problem. That's actually kind of interesting. If this was a demo ranch video, we'd kind of tear off on a tangent about how many White Claws will a 22 LR go through, which I'm not convinced he hasn't already done. Just for shiggles, let's try 3. That's the power of the Home Depot right there.
Now I'm just genuinely curious. So we've got 6 White Claws lined up, or as I call it, breakfast. Let's see how many it'll go through. 3, 2, 1. All right, we finally stopped the legendary 22 long rifle cartridge. Might have caught the bullet. So it stopped in the 5th White Claw. Look through the top. No, we actually didn't catch it. What the hell? Because it went in, but it didn't exit, but it's not in the can. That was a neat little science experiment. Now I feel like we're actually learning things together, which we never get to do around here. So yeah, I know what you're thinking. This isn't an AK, but still I think is a cool piece to own and a really interesting part of firearm design history, which you guys know I'm all about. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It was at least educational for you, and if not educational, then at least a little entertaining. But anyways, guys, make sure you like and subscribe. It does help us in the algorithm, and I will see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video with the next weird gun. .22s, you know. They're a little finicky. Try that again. As Grantham says, tip the butt. Fuck! If you already know what it is, then, well, you already know how damn goof. Fuck me! God damn it! Good take.